Hi guys, surprise! I decided to come on and show you the Thrifty Bits Scott and I got at the Goodwill bins the other night. I think it was it last night? It might have been last night or the night before. I don't know. He said, "You want to get out of the house?" And I said, "Sure." And so we went to the Goodwill bin side and the retail. Didn't buy anything on retail side, only at the bins. So nobody knows I'm on, so I'm just going to start going through this stuff. One thing I got is not in here. It's out in the backyard. I picked up a small pink wading pool, and I'm going to put holes in the bottom of it, fill it full of dirt, and make an herb garden out of it. So, hey, how are you, Purple Nana? So let's, besides the wading pool, which they said just keep the wading pool, we're not going to weigh it, which it doesn't weigh anything, but they charged me $2 for it. But that's better than $15 or whatever. But then what you do at the Goodwill clearance bins is you get this rolling around like trash can, and it's got one of these great big liner bags in it. And then you just start filling your can up as you go around and go through these bins and boxes. Hi Beth, hi Barb, hi Kathy. So what did I find in the bins? Yarn, of course. And this is going to probably be in pieces because I had to break it to get it loose because it was tangled with Christmas lights and all kinds of stuff. But I got one this color. Nope, two that color. Two. It's kind of beige. And then I spent less than $8. So then I got a dark chocolatey brown. And this is, see, it's got all multiple ends because it was tangled. I'll re-roll it. And then I got a blue one. And I'm going to ball these up into balls. So I thought even together that would make a pretty blanket of some sort. It could be a real simple baby blanket that was not boy or girl, even though I think to me it leans more boyish. But you know how things are these days. Hi, Nashwa. I thought they were, and there was another brown one, but it had something on it, and it was really tangled. So I said, never mind. And then I had gotten some of these in the mail, and then somebody else had donated them. I can't remember who they're from. Let me see. Environmental Defense Fund. They're just cards that came in the mail with the matching envelopes. In fact, I sent 2 of these off today. And then I've never seen these before, and it was marked $1.95, but that's when it's in the retail side. When it gets to the bin, you're paying $1.89 per pound. So I just threw this in my bin. It's an 8x8, the ultimate multimedia panel. Have y'all seen these? It's a really hardboard. So I don't know. It says Museum Series panel. The ultimate multimedia panel. Ultra smooth clay surface. It has a clay surface to it. I had never seen these. But I figured if I'm going to throw it in the bins, it'll be something fun to use. I got 2 packages of these. There was a bunch of these in the bin. They're just fun little rainbow colored bottle brush trees. They had a bunch of these. These I recognize. These came from Target. The Target bins at the front of their store. So I just picked up those, and I'll take them out of the package and just put them in my Christmas box. And there was several of these in the bins. It's just it's like a binding tape. I mean, I could use it for binding and just dye it any color that I might need. But the roll is huge, see? I almost picked up both of them thinking, oh, I could even stick some of it in Happy Mail. But then I was like, no, there's enough there on one spool that I could do that. So I got this big old roll of this stuff. And then the last thing I'm going to pour out on the table. And I'm wearing my shirt that I created. I'm going to move this yarn over here. Pile it up on my sewing machine. Just so I can dump this stuff out. Put you down on the table. Yeah, I could stamp on it too, Beth. That's right. These were just dumped in the bottom of the bin. So I just kept picking them up. They're kind of dirty and all, but I'm going to take them out of the packaging and just put them in my button jar. And I'll reuse the bag or take it back to Goodwill when I go and just stick it in a can and start again. But there's all kinds of buttons, and I thought I would just open them with y'all. Let me get a piece of cardstock where they're easier to see. Because I'm bored out my gourd here by myself. This is my first day with the fellas back at work. So I said, I'm going to go live real quick and share my Goodwill haul. That's a little better. You can kind of see. We'll move my mouse pad over. Oh, and I got something from Amazon I wanted to show you that's there. There we go. So I'm just going to take them out and we'll see what all I've got here. Button. Who's got the buttons? Me. I do. And I don't care about the little envelopes. So I'm just going to throw them in the trash. I know everybody's saying, save it. You can use it in a blah, blah, blah. But I'm good. Hi, Angela Adele. Welcome. I'm just showing the stuff I got at the Goodwill bins. Now, these are really old. These are probably 1950s. I think what these are like when you buy a sweater or a shirt or something and you end up, you always get the little button or some thread to fix anything like that. I think that's what these are. That one's kind of cool. And my autofocus is on. Let me get that thing away there. Because they're all in little bags. You know what I could do to save some time is snip them with scissors because I'm going to throw the bags away anyway. Can't save everything, right? Hi, Nettie. But I thought, as much as buttons cost, I might as well, because after they go to the Goodwill bins, they end up at the dump. So I said, I'm going to rescue those poor little old buttons. So let's see. These are going to be the brown ones, and blues and white and cream can go together. These are dark blue. And they've got like a ridge on them. I've never seen one wrapped that much. So tiny, and it's all covered in plastic. The reason I'm separating them by color is actually some of my buttons I have in smaller jars separated by color, because sometimes I will put just all different colors or shapes or shades of buttons onto a shirt and see if anybody notices that I've done that, because I like to be quirky like that. So I'm going to make something out of that yarn. That's a really pretty kind of rose color. Would go in the brown pile. That one's green. These I thought were cool, and they so scream the 80s and 90s. They feel like they've got satin on them. And see, they're a shank button, but the shank is inside the fabric. It would be hard to find the hole. That's different. Those would make neat eyes on a stuffed animal. These is hard to tell. They're kind of a peachy color. There's cat hair on here. Imagine that at my house. Anyway, it's gold. It's a gold button. I actually have a jar that's just metal buttons, so I'll put those two in the metal buttons. It's a little purple button. And this is orange. I'll stick it with the peachy ones. I was cleaning the windows in Greg's bedroom because they hadn't been cleaned since I moved back down here. And at the top of the window, there's like this place, like a little finger place that you can put your fingers. And I came across it and came down to go across the glass. And I didn't realize how sharp that was. And I sliced my finger in like an upside down J, right around like that. Thought I was going to pass out. I called Greg. I said, Greg, you got to help me bandage this because I feel, I just don't do well with blood. If it's an emergency and I'm the only one there, I'll do okay. But as soon as somebody else walks in the room that's, like a trained professional, I hit the floor. When Greg dropped that X-Acto knife and stabbed the top of his foot, as soon as they started stitching him up, they had to prop me up because I was about to hit the floor. I'm going to leave these in here for right now because there's some little ribbon roses and then there's a bunch of little seed beads in there. Can you see the seed beads? And I don't want them to go a million places. So he came and helped me. And then I was careful around the rest of the windows. I just hadn't realized how sharp that plastic was. Stuff like that can happen so quick and you don't even think about it. You think, oh, it's just plastic. It won't do anything. Now these I thought were stunning. When I saw them, they are very shiny red. See how shiny they are? I was like, ooh, I'll definitely add those to the red jar. I'll get my button jars out here in a minute. And this one's cool because it's got some texture in the button. Can you see the stripes in it? That's cool. Hi, Teresa. Just sharing my goodies I got the other night when Scott and I needed to get out of the house. Pretty brown button. Oh, now see, this one's mixed. They're going to make me work for it. Let's see here. So I'll put that one with the red ones. That's a kind of a bluish green, cream, and clear. I think the clear and the cream ones go in the same jar. I think the black and brown ones are all in the same jar. It just makes it easier for me when I'm looking for things to put on an outfit. Now, isn't this one interesting? On this side, it looks like a solid brown button, but on this side, it's got some cream to it. I'm going to put it in the brown jar. And this one, is it purple? Is it blue? I think it's more blue. Oh, there's one hidden in here. This probably came from somebody that bought a lot of clothes. Or somebody's grandma that kept all the extra buttons and she passed away and nobody knows what to do. Well, here's a fabric colored green button. covered. Now that came from a 1970s polyester suit set. You got to know it did. You just have to know that. Do you remember the polyester suits? Oh, my grandmother had some. They were interesting. Now look at this button. This is why I like old buttons, because you just never know what you're going to find. This one's got like eyelets in it. Look at that. That probably came off a 1970s leisure suit. Your buttons are in a frame on the wall. That would be cool. That would be a cool thing to do with these old buttons. I just pick up buttons like this anytime I can because they cost so much at the stores now. I don't know if you can see this button, but it's different thicknesses. See? There's like a dipped area right here. That is cool. Cool. Oh, another bag's going to make me work for it. Got a couple different kinds. Let's see. That one's a black one that had to come off a lady's jacket, I bet. And then some little white flowery ones. Those would make cute eyeballs on a stuffed animal, and then just put a plain black small button in the middle of them. You can make your own eyes with buttons instead of buying those expensive buttons. Here's another purple. There was more, but I was afraid of getting on glass. They just throw everything in those bins. You have to be careful. They recommend wearing protective gloves. Okay, here we go. Another mixed up bag. Let's see here. That'll go in the metal jar. And it's got the little clip where they jerked it off from the button card. I can get that off later. That's more metal-like. That one's got a metal back, so I'm going to go ahead and put it with the metal buttons. There's a little one. Red one. And this one's it's plastic, but it's got metal in the middle. Very interesting. I love these. What do they call? What is that? It's shell. Somebody will tell me. The shell. Oh. Yeah, it's like a cotter pin. It is on here. That's exactly what that is. Oh, I see why they didn't take it off. It's stuck. I'll work at it and get it off. There we go. Maybe. There we go. It's like oyster shell, but aren't they called something else? I can't remember. I don't know that one's usable as a button. Can y'all see that there's a hole? See how it goes all the way across? That wouldn't stay on for nothing, but it's interesting to look at. Mother of pearl. Exactly. Hello, Cindy Wolf. Welcome. Put that one with the cream and clear. I just grabbed these, so I didn't know exactly what I had here. Can't tell if this is purple or brown. Purple or brown. I think it's brown. This came off some kind of formal wear dress because maybe a blouse. It's got dots on it. Probably a silk blouse. Very soft. We're almost to the bottom of the pile. I need to go get some stuff to fill that wading pool up and get some things planted in it. Hi, Kimberly557. Oh, I didn't finish sorting these. I'm getting ahead of myself. That's brown. That's green. These are black, but the blacks and browns are in the same jar. This is metal. This one's a cool one. It's got some edges on it. And cream, and I think the rest of these I'll just put into the brown jar because they look like men's shirts areas. Whoops. Ooh, that one's cool looking. Can you see the texture? That's cool. There's two of them like that. One's a little bit bigger than the other. These would go in the brown and black jar. And blue. Oh, I just like the shape of these. These are cool looking. They're not round. Isn't that neat? I've never seen any like that. I'll bring my jars over so you can see the jars. I think this one's purple. I think we're going to do vegetable lasagna for dinner, so I got to get that started soon. Scott gets home about 4:15, so he'll be hungry when he gets here. All right, that clear one will go in with the white buttons. Those are violet or purple. Ooh, it's a mystery button. Mystery button. What color will it be? Let's see. Oops. It is black. Great big black coat button. There's another brown one. Oh, this one's another one I'm not going to open. It's got beads and sequins and stuff in. This one's got a little bit of thread. I'll get the button out of there and I'll throw the thread over into my stitch box because it's a weird texture. And I got my stitch box right behind me here. Put this bag back in the car, and that way I'll remember to take it back to Goodwill to reline another of the back bins. I wish you could see that texture. I don't know if you can or not. No, not really. It's got this cool design on it. It's focusing on everything but it. But anyway, trust me, it's got a cool texture to it. It's another, that's purple. And then these little white ones. I like to leave them on the old cards. Sometimes I say, I'm not going to leave it on the card. And then I just dump it. So there's a clear one and a brown one. So the only jar it looks like we don't need to bring over here, I'll put these in with the black. All right. We need the blue and the purple. Blue, purple. We don't need yellow. We need the green and the red. Red and green. Orange. Gotta move some gnomes out the way. This is my brown and black jar and the orange jar. And then we just need the white and clear. White and clear jar. And we'll put these away. So we'll just open up the green jar, put them in there. And then the red jar. I got all these little jars at Goodwill just for buttons. And they look so pretty just on the wall. And orange. and the blues and blue greens. So see, if I was making like a shirt that had all different kind of blues, I could go in here and find some that are close to the same size and just put them down my shirt. And nobody would know except me. Oh, I need the metal tin too. The one for the metal buttons. I have all my things down off my shelf. This one's the metal buttons. I'll go ahead and put that pin in there too. Let me go ahead and drop this in here. There's even an old domino in this jar. But you could use just canning jars if that's all you have to put your buttons in, and then you can see them. And if you sort them by color, then if you need a certain color, you have them all sorted. You don't have to dig through. And they look pretty on the shelf like this. And I think I've started another black and brown jar because, you know, that's the main color of buttons, especially on, you know, men's clothing. So when I put them on the shelf, I have them almost in rainbow. I don't have the yellow over here, so I'll put the red, orange, yellow, green, blue, violet. See, and then they look pretty. And then the larger jars and the metal jar are on different shelves. So let me put the big jars back real quick. I've also got like acrylic pieces and acorns in their own jars over here. I want to show you one more thing real quick. And then tomorrow we're doing a double page spread in our spring journal. So you guys will need the back side of the page we did this past week, plus one more sheet. And if you would go ahead and prepare the edges of your cardboard and then maybe put your background paper on so that all we got to do is start working on the elements. That's what I'm going to have ready for tomorrow. And now I wanted to show you something I got off Amazon. You guys know how much I love my gnomes. Well, I got, you know how they offer up stuff on your page? They'll say, "Ooh, this might interest you." And I said, "Well, yes, it does." So this is the picture from Amazon's page. So I ordered these. And I got all these dies. So the reason I printed this off is so I can figure out what's what in the dies. Because they come all hooked together like this. So I would need to figure out, you know, this is his face, his hat, his shoes, his body. And then I don't know what those little stick things are. I guess those are his legs. Those are his legs. And then there's a little star. And then this is his nose. So you have to pull out the element. You have to break them apart. So you're cutting stuff out in, you know, the right papers to make up your little gnomes. And some of the pieces are really small. So ideas for storing these once I cut them apart. I was thinking of a small divided compartment and put like all the hats in one pocket, maybe all the body shapes in another, all the noses together, all the shoes together. And then I could just go through and randomly cut all the socks, all the noses, all, you know. But you get a lot of dies. I think there's 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. No, there's 10 different dies. So you can make 10 different gnomes and then intermix them. So I think I got a really good deal. I don't remember how much this cost me. It wasn't much. It was one of those that came in a, you know, made in China wrapper. So, but I saw those and I said, oh my gosh, those are so cute. You know, I could make up a bunch of gnomes and just have them all glued together. And then when I was making cards, I could just pop a gnome on it for no reason. Well, the only thing is I would have to cut all of them out of everything just to get to like skin tones and beard color, and that's my thing. I'm just thinking, I don't know what to do. And without the pictures, just looking at these, I mean, some of them I can figure out. Let me see. There's one here. I think this one actually comes with a speech bubble. I don't know. It's like I can't figure out what some of the stuff is. There's one. It's like it cuts out the tiny little dots for his eyeballs right there. It's just 2 little dots. I thought that was odd. I guess that's his nose, and those are his eyes, and then you put the little dots in the eyes, and that's his mouth. I don't know. I think that's going to be half the fun, is trying to figure out what is what. I could get some of those little snack bags, but I got to thinking the little, if I could find even a Doris box that I denoted just for these gnomes, that I could put the different components in. This one looks like he comes with a bow and arrow. I just don't know. I guess these are his arms. It'll be interesting trying, or are those his feet? I don't know, because there's his hands. It's going to be weird. It's going to be weird. They are adorable once they're put together, but without this picture, I wouldn't know what to do with these. I have small Ziploc. I have little bags. But for right now, they're going to go back in here. I will definitely play with these soon and see if I can figure out how to put them all together. It'll be one of those days when I have to do something early in the day. I might cut some apart and just have the bits. That's what I could do, is put the dies in the little 3x4 bags and then get one of those divider things and put the cutout pieces in it and put them all together. That would be good if I could do that. And then keep this picture in the container too. Boy, I learned my lesson about storage. I'm not going to go to Joann's for storage anymore. I'm going to go to Hobby Lobby, because those little plastic things to wrap your DMC floss on are twice the price at Joann's as they are at Hobby Lobby. So anyhow, So that was my Amazon and my Goodwill haul. There's my little bottle trees I got in the bins, and I'll put these over with my cards. I'm really intrigued with this clay board because I've never used it. Archival and acid-free, our patented kaolin clay ground is applied to a non-warping premium hardboard and then sanded to a velvet smooth finish that is very absorbent. Highly responsive surface. Thinly apply paint or ink, remove it, reapply it, or even scratch through it to add contrast, texture, and fine details. Paint colors remain true and brilliant on this surface. A true multimedia panel, perfect for inks, gouache, egg tempera, acrylics, airbrush, encaustics, collage, photo transfers, pencil, cassine, and for mounting papers, prints, and fabrics. So that was it. Well, I got other things in. I did order some of the Heat and Bond liquid vinyl that I read about in that quilting magazine. You put one layer of this on fabric, and it makes it water resistant. If you put a second coat, it makes it waterproof. And if you do a third coat of this stuff, it turns it to like an oilcloth finish. So I got to thinking how neat this would be on some of my painted fabrics to make them waterproof for like pencil cases or makeup bags and things like that. And somewhere I have some of my fabric that is at a state where I could add this to it and then finish decorating it and turn it into some. I just have to locate that. I've been buying stuff. I shouldn't buy stuff. I have stuff. I just bought myself a new iron. I got that book I showed on Facebook that came in yesterday. But now I've put it somewhere safe. The Organic Embroidery book. And what I liked about it is it's actually more of a it shows you some embroidery, but her embroidery is done on the machine. But what intrigued me is how she shows how to go out in the wild, gather stuff up, and then create a sketchbook using the items you gathered. Like that's a lily pad, and there's a lily, water lily. And she's broken it down into the flower, the stem, the leaf, the fruit. You know, what does the fruit look like? You cut it in half, sketch that. And it's really a detailed book. Use your watercolors and get the colors that are in that plant on a little swatch section, or use acrylic paints. You could use anything. And get the vein pattern. That's her big thing, I think, is the vein patterns in leaves. Let me just see. This is her embroidery, and it looks just like the all right, I'll tell you something she does too that's kind of cool. She lists the kingdom, the phylum, the class, the subclass, and the order of the red coral. So she learns about the plant that she's looked it up. I mean, you could Google. In fact, if you have your phone and you can take a picture of it, there's a new way to look up plants, and it'll tell you all these details, and you could write all that in your sketchbook. All the different corals and sea animals. And then she turns it into stitchery. And let me show you some of the stuff. See all the different leaves? And when you hold them up to light, you can see all the veins. And when you do that and you create a sketch from it, then you can take your sketch, you can put it on your fabric, You can use the colors that you see and have created a swatch pattern, kind of get as close as you can in your thread colors and stitch it. And I just love that concept so much. And there she's doing a shell. And so she went from this shell to this. And this is embroidered on her machine. I love this case she has where she's just put things she's gathered like tiny bird skulls, little seashells, nuts, teeth that she's found. What else is in there? All kinds of little bits of coral and stuff like that. And she's got like this little tray. It's a divided tray. It's hard to see. And she's just put it in there. And now see, these are all embroidered. See how she's standing in front of them in her display? She did that on her sewing machine. She does, Kathy. I mean, I am just blown away. Her name is Meredith Woolmouth. And this book is just delicious to just look through. But she encourages research into the plant and animal life around you. Learn the animal, learn the kingdom, learn all of the things that she listed there. Kingdom, the order, the family, the genus, the species. That's for coast pennywort. And she looked all of that up, wrote it down, and then she went from this leaf to this embroidery. And it really gets you in touch with it. She's got a whole list of books here of what she uses for her research on top of the internet. And she talks about her art of keeping a sketchbook. And then just her embroidery. It's just mad, crazy mad. I mean, embroidered. Hello, it's embroidered. It's not a real leaf. It's embroidered. And then she gives it dimension by angling it out. Oh, wow. She calls it drawing with a sewing machine. This is art. This is not just drawing. This is like mad skills. Is exactly right. Look at all her beautiful thread. Scott said that's his favorite part of my craft space is all of my thread on the spool holders where he can see all the colors. I'm not trying to sell this book. I'm absolutely amazed at this girl's skills. I mean, really. Red cabbage. Hello. You know, oh my gosh. Painting with stitches. But I want to read the sections. I don't always read books like this front to back. I just don't. I will go through the table of contents and I'll jump to the part that really has made me buy the book. And I'll read that section and then I'll say, let's back up and see what else she has to say. There's Carol. Yep. Yeah. And that takes mad skill, getting that control of moving the fabric. So is there anything else I wanted to share? Scott gave me that little, I can't remember what it used to hold. It was some kind of tools he got thrifting. And what he did, this is a metal box, and he took I think it had dies in it or something. And he took them out and put them in his toolbox and then gave me this. And I thought, you know what that would make? A really cool watercolor set that I could take with me. There's plenty of space left here. I'm on the lookout for a couple little ceramic dishes that I could put in here to mix like warm and cool colors, like put the warm tray here. I'm looking for something that would fit in here that I could put a magnet on the bottom and stick it in here. And these came with little magnet squares to put on the bottom, but the stickum that came on them is not staying stuck. So I've got to take the time to sit with the E6000. I might go out on the porch to do that. And E6000 these to the bottom. And I might have to separate some of this out because I want to put some of my gouache paints in here. So I might put the gouaches along the bottom and then have watercolors up here and then put my little trays in the middle. And then there's room in the lid. I'm trying to think of a way that I could create like something that I could attach maybe over here that I could clip onto something over here, or even just lay something, I don't know, some way that I can hold paintbrushes on this side. So I'm recycling something Scott was going to just put in the recycling bin and he didn't want. And so I ordered the little, I don't think they're full pans. I think they're half pans, but I could be wrong. And I ordered gum Arabic to mix with it. Double-sided tape, that might work. And I'm thinking there might even be space that if I could find a kind of flat plastic bottle that I could actually carry water to. I'm going to play, this is something I'm going to play around with because I thought this could be something fun that if we ever started hiking again or something, it's a little on the heavy side because it is metal, and by the time I load it, but this and a small sketchbook to take on our vacations, even if we ever take one again, might be fun to record events. So let's do something fun and then I'll sign off. Since this is an impromptu, just chatty, fun stuff, I have right here 2 envelopes full of goodies. Ta-da! It's a mystery giveaway. So if you put in a number, one number each, between 1 and 100, 2 of you will get an envelope. And I have another one I'll give away tomorrow. Oh, I wish I had something to drink. I have a sore throat all of a sudden. Let's see. I don't want to call anybody. Why did it open that? Random number picker. 6. No, that's not what I wanted. Random sequence generator. That way I'll just take the first 2 numbers. Hi, Joyce. It won't be for an envelope, Purple Nana. You go ahead. Put a number in. Everybody put a number in. Because I don't have that many people here right now, so it's not going to take long to get 17 people to put a number in. That's 8 of you. There's 8 more. Anybody else want to play? If not, I'm going to generate 2 numbers. The first 2 that come close to the first 2 numbers will get an envelope. Hi, Icy. Hi, Suze. Hi, Brenda. All right. Is that everybody? It's pretty close. I'm going to get the sequence. All right. Whoa, what did it do? Whoa. Hold up. What did you do? What are you doing? Random sequence. All right. Let's see here. Let's bring down the light a little bit so it's not so glaring. And then get sequence. 32 and 15. Who's closest to 32 and 15? Well, Joyce will get 1 because she's got 15. And 32 is Sue's. And where the book ends is Sue's. Is it Sue's Garrison? I want to make sure I got the right Sue's. There's like 3 Sue's and 14 Becky's around. So that was my winners, Joyce and Sue's. And yes, okay. And Joycey. Hi, Mike. So I'll get those in the mail to you too. And you're welcome. And that's all I was going to share. I'll be here tomorrow at 2:30. It's actually after 3 already. I need to get busy on dinner so that when the hubby gets home, the food will be ready. So I'll see you guys tomorrow at 2:30 Eastern. And I'm going to be doing a 2-page spread tomorrow. If you could do your edge covering of your pages and put your background paper on, that way all we have to do is work on the mechanism. And we're going to have 2 different things, one for each page. So I will see you guys tomorrow. Thanks for stopping in for this impromptu. Bye, guys.